personnel compared with the first match. John Barnes still hasn't recovered from a thigh injury, and that means that Michael Thomas continues in his stead. The side indeed is that which ended a run of 11 games without defeat at the hands of Ipswich on Saturday. Birmingham's run also ended 5 days ago in a 2-0 defeat at York City. They'd put together 16 wins and 9 draws. Their one change is the return of John Frayne, who's been out for 3 months with a viral complaint, and he takes over from the suspended Peter Shearer. Not least among the points of interest will be whether 23-year-old Ian Bennett confirms the impression he made last Saturday week at St Andrews. It seems likely he'll get the chance. It was a cracking atmosphere in the city of Birmingham, and it promises to be equally good in the city of Liverpool. The Liverpool team endeavouring to end recent history, in which they've drawn in the third round and then lost in the replay. Man in charge, as in the first match, is Jim Parker of Preston. Bjorneby. Ruddock. Rushed well down, but Birmingham not giving Liverpool much space to play, and they're certainly pushing up quite well. Too strong from Kenny Lowe. Made something of it, but there's no one there to turn it in. Seemed to be absolutely no danger at all. But James came out and was then given the ball, and Otto was able to make the block. It was out. And he's got that one out of the way. Cooper, and again. Good ball to Donowa. Just didn't quite give him enough. Instead of running to the corner. Just ran out of legs. Otto did well. Claridge. Well, it would have been interesting as to what would have happened if Claridge had gone down then. But he was determined to get to his feet. It was quite a strong challenge, but Babb had played the ball anyway. Daish. Forward. Fowler. Redknapp shot. Oh, and it hit the far post and came back and hit the goalkeeper and went in. Unlucky, but the shot deserved to find its mark. It had beaten the goalkeeper to the wide. But he, sadly for him, brought about his own downfall. So, in the 21st minute, the Premiership side has the lead. Well, this shows how clearly the goalkeeper is beaten. He was quite close to his left post, it should be said. Barry Fry's attitude will probably be that that was a cracking shot. Conversation there with Ebenstein, he's number 2. Rush, Thomas, Rush, wide player, it's Rob Jones again. He had a lot of space this time, but still fails to break his Liverpool duck. So much room, they were all pulled in. Took on Frayne, beat him comfortably, but also beat the far post comfortably. Thomas. Claridge coming back to find it, and not getting enough up front. Redknapp tries another one. Struck it equally as well. But this one never looked like eluding Ian Bennett. Beautiful balance by Mark Wards. Now Otto. Marriage to the left, low as well. Just was too far. He was stretching to get his boot round that to curl it. Played it inside Babb. Just ran away a little bit. Good industry that time from Rush. McManaman. Redknapp. He's a growing force in the game, this young man. Lovely shimmy. Good strike. Always rising. Had it not done so, I think the goalkeeper may well have got a hand to it anyway. Fowler. Redknapp. Bjorneby. Claridge comes back as well, leaving only Otto forward. Scales. Thomas. Again, the shot from distance was a good one, but was covered by Bennett. But again, indicative of the style of play. Birmingham have got so many people behind the ball, they're trying to work the opening Liverpool. One shot from distance profited. That was a good strike as well, but wide. Premiership side have the advantage at half-time. Ian Bennett beaten once, the ball crossing the line of his body after a fine shot by Jamie Redknapp and come back off the post. Half-time, Liverpool 1, Birmingham 0. A gamble by Barry Fry as he introduces Jose Dominguez, signed from Benfica last March. He's on at the start of the second half in place of John Frayne, who has a hamstring injury, but it will offer something different up front, the arrival of the Portuguese. Cooper dropping back to the position he played in the first match at left back. Bjorneby, who came in, but he couldn't direct. McManaman. Fowler. Redknapp. Old Dominguez, still Redknapp. Good stop. Got it back onto his right foot. Redknapp got away from two. Dominguez first, then low. Good shot, good save. You really feel that the second Liverpool goal would kill it. But it remains at 1. There's still possibilities for the second division side. Thomas. Redknapp. Rush. Through to Fowler. Good claim. Rush shrugs off the challenge. McManaman, 10 yards to move into. Blocked by Cooper. Rush. Very cleanly struck. Look at the goalkeeper here. Donowa towards. Pulls Dominguez back. Just a little sign then from Mark Ward. Come short, you're going to be offside if I play it to you now. Real awareness of what's going on. Otto. Low. Claridge. Otto. Yes! Well, they've been hoping and praying. They've been given reason for increasing hope. And finally, it's Otto who finds the finish. It's not been the best of matches for him up to this moment. It's all changed now. It's 1-1 in the 69th minute. Roy Evans on a pretty anxious bench. Ronnie Moran looking at the time. Scales. A bit of style from him. Quality defender in my book. This is Phil Babb. Thomas. McManaman. Promising for Liverpool. Rush is pulled away on the right. Nobody's seen him. But nobody included McManaman. Ward. Claridge didn't know he had it. Otto! After a mistake by Redknapp. McManaman. Goal kick. Otto very nearly got there after Redknapp's mistake, and Scales couldn't reach it. Flick shot, goalkeeper had come forward, blocked. Drives to the middle. More sprightly McGavin joins him. Out by Ruddock, only to pull. Mark Ward's gift for James. McManaman. Free kick against Kenny Lowe. Ruddock. Oh, put it to McManaman, he took it well. Cooper's challenge, Liverpool's corner. Yonaby says, leave it to me. He puts it in, Ruddock puts it over. Good reactions. Free header.
1-1, no more major incidents in normal time. Now it was extra time.
His FA Cup score sheet remains blank. It's a lovely move by Liverpool. They got the man in. Good passing. McManaman! Couldn't finish it. Two near things. Lovely move again, but off the side foot, wide. Goalkeeper went the right way. Scales. Redknapp, away from Woods. Such was the strength of the drive. Bennett couldn't hold it, but his body was behind his hands. Good play again by Jamie Redknapp. In the last minute of the match. Rush. Bam. Free kick conceded by Donowa. And another name will go into the book. Bab to take, Ruddock, McManaman, Scales, Rush, Fowler, Redknapp, all in attacking positions. On by Fowler, Rush, flag is up, offside. Flag was up before he actually made contact. Driven in by Bab. Pushing forward. Rush moved just that little bit too soon. It's got through to Fowler! Rush is offside!
No more goals, so here they come, the penalties.
Penalties to be taken at the end where Birmingham have their support, and Birmingham will go first with their player coach Mark Ward. And he's missed. It's raining. It's the end of a very tiring contest. It's skewed off the outside of a damp boot. He might change one letter of that word. Now Neil Ruddock for Liverpool. Save! Two taken, no score. Good stop it was. Height gave him a chance. It was not that far away, but still a good stop. Steve McGavin for Birmingham City. Still no score. And David James matches Ian Bennett. Every time the goalkeepers are moved just a little bit. Well, that was a really good stop. Jamie Redknapp scored in the game. And scores in the penalty competition to put Liverpool in front. They've got to a final against Portsmouth through a penalty competition. They've won a European Cup in a penalty competition. They lead now against Birmingham City as the rain becomes snow. And Liam Dace steps forward for Birmingham and misses. And they applaud in the middle. Spurs were watching. Sneaks behind a bit, waits for the ball. It hasn't come back from the crowd, and we're going to need another one. Comfortable wait for the taker. It's 2-0 to Liverpool, with 3 penalties taken apiece. Well, it's the right name. Gary Cooper in the shootout, and he has to make it count. Oh! And he hits the post, and Liverpool are through. After all their efforts, it all went wrong for Birmingham City in the shootout. 4 blanks. Liverpool have scored twice, and they go through to round 4. But Birmingham City have shown that they can live with the mighty. They're surely on their way back towards the top. Final score decision.
Good evening, welcome to FA Cup quarter-final weekend, part 1. Part 2's tomorrow. First tonight, it's Liverpool against Tottenham. Spurs in the last 8, of course, thanks to Ronnie. And Rosenthal in the team against his old club. Ian Rush made it 41 cup goals to secure Liverpool's replay win against Wimbledon. Could he claim the outright scoring record today? Then it's Crystal Palace against Wolves. Other priorities for their managers: for Palace to stay up, for Wolves to go up. But of course a cup final would be a wonderful bonus or consolation. The match involved a player called Shirtliff. Guess which one he is. Then the Premiership, Blackburn out front and out to extend their lead at Coventry today. That's our 3rd game. Goals from elsewhere as usual. And a fierce Liverpool-Spurs rivalry on the bench tonight. Well, that's where we start. Liverpool already in one Wembley final. Spurs looking for their first ever FA Cup win over them. A fabulous atmosphere at Anfield, and the commentator is John Motson.
It's the biggest crowd of the season at Anfield, just under 40,000, all seated, and the 5,500 Tottenham fans among them find that not for the first time this season, the FA Cup seems not to favour them, because Spurs have never beaten Liverpool in this competition in 4 previous meetings. And if it's a big day for Rosenthal, the Rocket, and Rush, the record, it also means a lot to Neil Razor Ruddock, who served Tottenham twice before joining Liverpool and scored an own goal when the 2 clubs drew here in the league in November. That was the start of Liverpool's current sequence of only 1 defeat in 24 matches. Today, Mark Walters starts in preference to Stig Inge Bjørneby. Otherwise, Roy Evans keeps faith with the men who steered Liverpool to Wembley in the Coca-Cola Cup. A lot's been said about the five-man defence, which will be a four-man line today, and the potency of Russian Fowler, but the key figures could be the mix and match in central midfield. 21-year-old Jamie Redknapp, a former Tottenham junior, and 31-year-old John Barnes. The responsibility for dealing with them lies with the Tottenham midfield pair, Darren Anderton and David Howells. It promises to be quite a battle, that. Jerry Francis names the same side, and Spurs too are on an impressive roll. Only 2 defeats in their last 20 matches. Referee Martin Bodman from Cornwall, and the noise speaks for itself here. Although I've rarely come across a cup tie in which so many of the players just couldn't wait for it to start. At the Liverpool training ground yesterday and in the Tottenham Hotel last night, there was a buzz that only comes with the later rounds of this fabulous competition, the FA Cup. Sheringham's header on. Phil Babb is going to be playing in the left-back position. The cross in by Sheringham. Ronnie Rosenthal hanging back here behind Rob Jones. It comes on to McManaman. Now Jamie Redknapp. Barnes to his left, and to his left is Mark Walters. It's gone the other way, offside Redknapp. But that's the move that Liverpool hope will work. Trying to get a midfield player through. Something that earlier in the season they were criticised for not doing. But now, Roy Evans and company have got Redknapp in a very mobile role. Oh, there's Klinsmann, a chance for Spurs. What a good save by David James. The first real chance, 2 minutes gone. Spurs have a corner, then they might have had a goal. Jurgen Klinsmann got through, left knee of the goalkeeper. Anderton to take the corner. Half away by Ruddock, in by Rosenthal. David Howells. Well, could Tottenham have asked for a clearer opening than that in their first real attack? And the chance fell to the top scorer. The Liverpool defence got themselves into a bit of a mess, but you've got to give David James some credit. He stood up well. McManaman away from Rosenthal, taking on Edinburgh. Oh, and the clearance from Austin nearly went to Fowler. This is bad. John Scales. Mark Walters now. And again Walters. Barmby, showing him to his right, Klinsmann in the middle, still Barmby, Klinsmann. Oh, and Barmby went down and Spurs are appealing for a penalty. Martin Bodnam backtracks, shakes his head. It was Barmby who played the ball first. The challenge is by Ruddock. In my view, it's outside the area anyway. It wouldn't have been a penalty. It would have been a free kick, if anything. Walters. Oh, it was a mistake by Tottenham. Robbie Fowler's away. He's got rushed to his left. It's still Fowler. And that's why he gets so many goals. He hardly needs any backlift. The shot comes in so quickly. Not the greatest angle for him. He got away from Calderwood here, tried to shoot across the goalkeeper. Walker was down. And now Barmby, what a good team player Sheringham is. He's on the right wing now. Klinsmann's in the centre. Another good ball from Sheringham to Barmby. And here's Anderton. And the sliding challenges there by Babb. Took the ball cleanly and conceded a corner. And Colin Calderwood up, right on the line. Gary Mabbott joining him now. Sheringham, that's a corner Spurs have practiced and scored from this season. The idea is for Anderton to drill it in low to the near side of the box and Sheringham to volley it. Forward by Ruddock. That's Rush pestering Austin. Babb to Barnes. Walters. Spurs break his up with Barmby. It came first time Ronnie Rosenthal's really had the ball. He didn't have it for long. Sheringham. What a good ball. Klinsmann. Barmby's made the run. Oh, and the pass just takes him slightly wider than he wanted to go. Still a chance for Tottenham. Ronnie Rosenthal with the header. And Liverpool immediately from the throw out. They've got a player down injured, but they're playing on with Jamie Redknapp. This is Fowler. 4 Liverpool players up. A swift counter-attack. Still Fowler. And the player hurt back there is John Scales. Mark Leather, the physio, is on. Well, here's the cross, and John Scales takes a whack there as the ball went over him and Sheringham. Forward by Mabbott, and off Barmby. Mistake, it's Anderton for Tottenham. Klinsmann couldn't reach it, and it ran along the 6-yard line. And to Liverpool's relief, it evaded Klinsmann from Anderton's build-up. But the mistake here is that of Mark Walters, a really miss-hit pass, and Anderton just wanted to knock that inside to Klinsmann if he could. McManaman. Ronnie Rosenthal being called upon at the moment to defend, along with 10 others from Tottenham. This is Scales. Oh, he's worked that well, John Scales. Oh, Nicky Barmby defending, but it's come back to Scales again. This is Jones. Here comes Rush, the header out only to Barnes, doesn't get hold of it properly. Klinsmann with Scales. Sheringham. Oh, and Klinsmann pulled back, was he on the edge? Referee Bodnam again was close, doesn't want to know. Klinsmann angry. Now, there was some contact. How serious it was is another matter. This is Redknapp. Oh, it's a good run. Took the ball in his stride and found McManaman. Rob Jones on this side. 4 the other way for Liverpool. Jones finds Redknapp. Barnes is to the left. McManaman. Jones again. And the header by Klinsmann went to Howells, and then Ruddock stepped in. Calderwood. But now Liverpool looking menacing again with Walters. McManaman tucks it into Fowler. This is for John Barnes. This is Anderton, and he's away. Sheringham making a run on this side, Scales in the way. Klinsmann trying to close down the keeper with Sheringham. And now 2 more Spurs players shutting down space. But well played Redknapp to McManaman. And if they get this to the left, Liverpool, they're going to have a man over. It's Mark Walters. 3 the other way for him, taking on Austin. And he hasn't beaten him once yet. Still 0-0, it's Calderwood. Sheringham. I think Edinburgh was quite expecting that, and Rush plays it inside to Redknapp. Forward by Howells. And it's McManaman. On to Walters. Oh, Barmby slipped. It's still Walters. He's going all the way here. McManaman's outside him still. Walters cross. Fowler! Robbie Fowler yet again, but what about this from Mark Walters? It started way back. He got a cross in beyond two defenders, and Fowler's header beats the acrobatics of Walker. This is where Walters began the damage. Nicky Barmby tripped a bit on the turf, and Walters was away. Howells couldn't get to him. Two others came to him. Calderwood and Austin, he beat them both. Lovely cross, good header. Liverpool in front. 38 minutes, and Robbie Fowler, the man who put them through to Wembley in the Coca-Cola Cup, scores his 28th goal of the season to give them hope of a semi-final in the FA Cup now. Oh, there's a chance here, and a tumble. Dean Austin and Robbie Fowler. But I think it was just a bit of push and shove, and neither appealed to the referee. Something of a torrid time now is Walters, and this is the team selection that Roy Evans had to make. Did he stick with Björneby, or did he play the more natural wingman? And the decision at the moment, bearing in mind where the goal came from, has to be seen to be right. This is Jones. Redknapp. McManaman. Walters again. Rush coming in, and this time Walker just gets an arm out. But it was another good delivery from Mark Walters. He's going inside Barmby here and curling it in with his right foot this time. Bad. Calderwood. The last minute of the first half. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0. McManaman. Good tackle by Mabbott, read it beautifully. Sheringham. Barmby looks for Klinsmann. But Scales and Ruddock are doing a solid job on the German captain. This is Fowler. And now Redknapp helping it on again to Walters. What service he's getting out there. Barnes has gone outside him too. Appeals for handball. Referee has got an excellent view when he points to his chest. McManaman. Howells looking for Klinsmann. He's got two defenders. Here's Sheringham. Oh, what a goal! What a reply by Tottenham and Teddy Sheringham. Right on half-time, they're back in it. Jurgen Klinsmann supplied the pass, but what a marvellous finish with the inside of the foot by Teddy Sheringham. great technical skill. Klinsmann, great awareness, and just look at the way he picked his spot, right in the angle. A terrific goal, and it deserved by Sheringham, because Klinsmann would, I'm sure, say that in that early spell, Sheringham was the Tottenham player who stood out for Jerry Francis, and he's got his reward. Now this cup tie is living up to all the expectations. Sheringham. Oh, well played by Dean Austin. Saw the opening. Found Anderson out on the right. Klinsmann in the centre. Spurs come again. Sheringham. Good cross. Klinsmann's coming in and snatched out of the air by a very confident David James. Here's McManaman. Walters' effort. Well, a half that seemed to get better and better and ended on a really high note. Robbie Fowler, after 38 minutes, from Mark Walters' pinpoint cross, gave Liverpool the lead. But in the 45th minute, Spurs showed what they were made of. Klinsmann set the thing up, having missed an earlier chance, in fact, in the second minute. And it was Teddy Sheringham whose unerring finish made the half-time score 1-1. So far in the FA Cup this season, Liverpool have needed a replay in every round. Birmingham City, Burnley, Wimbledon. Now they're level again with Tottenham. And if there was a replay, it would be on Wednesday week at White Hart Lane. And even if there wasn't, the teams would still meet there that night in the FA Carling Premiership. So they're going to be seeing a bit of each other. And here's the start of the second half with Spurs attacking the Kop end now. Barnes for Liverpool. To Rush, and now Walters. It's the same story. Walters against Austin, and he's foxed him, but Austin got back. Barnes, touched by Rush, looking for Fowler. Now Anderson for Spurs. It'll be played, I would imagine, at very much the same pace as the first half. And Babb tries to get across Klinsmann, and Barnby nearly nipped it from him. Rosenthal. And he's taking on Jones. He's one of the quickest in the business and gets the goal kick out of it. Difficult to take Rob Jones for pace, and Ronnie Rosenthal, who's no slouch himself, will be hoping to get rather more runs at him in the second half. But they know Ronnie only too well down there. Walters, and the third man it was that got the ball. Calderwood. Walters goes down, clutching his leg, and Calderwood puts the ball out. No intent there, just caught him awkwardly, but he'd gone past two players already by the time Calderwood came over. Alex Ferguson, one of the interested spectators today. His team have a match coming up against Liverpool. But of course, more importantly, at the moment for this weekend, they've got Queen's Park Rangers in the FA Cup tomorrow. Well, look at that skill from Darren Anderson. I mean, he played his way from his own penalty area to the halfway line and eventually probably ran out of steam. And Babb sending that one over Austin. This is McManaman. Mabbott backpedaling. Good challenge, David Howells. That's one of the reasons he's playing there in the heart of the midfield. The best tackler in the club, arguably. Certainly among the midfield players. done by John Barnes. There's some nice, pretty football going on in the midst of a hectic cup tie here. Now then, Mabbutt has knocked over McManaman, but again, Martin Boddenham, true to form, says play on, you've got the ball. Redknapp looking for Rush, closely marked again. McManaman, Barnes, Walters, inside again. Oh, that didn't miss by much. I wonder if Ian Walker really saw that. It seemed to go mighty close to the post from my angle. Walters has come inside Howells. Now, who's blocking the goalkeeper's view? Calderwood, no doubt. I'll tell you what, he watched it go by, rather. Scales, back in by Barmby. Klinsmann, onside. Well, that must be some sort of opportunity. Nick Barmby was the feeding player. Klinsmann, I think, tried to hammer it with his left foot and just didn't get proper contact. McManaman. Away from Calderwood, outside to Walters. Fowler in the penalty area, Rush behind him. Not too difficult for the goalkeeper. Oh, it went over Ruddock, and here's Sheringham. Oh, it's gone just wide. Well, the Kop crowd were really stuck to their seats there because Neil Ruddock made a mistake. He misjudged the ball. John Scales is looking. Teddy Sheringham nips in, and look at that, close. And a substitution twice over here by Liverpool. John Barnes has gone off, and they're going to bring on Michael Thomas and Stig Inge Bjørnebye. So the other player to go off is Walters. So Michael Thomas, who once scored in the cup final for Liverpool, indeed the last time they won the trophy, he's on. So is Bjørnebye in that left-sided position. And now it's Howells for Spurs. Dean Austin. Austin. Klinsmann hanging back with the header. Sheringham, Klinsmann. Oh, they're both miskicked, really. This is Rosenthal. And now Thomas getting into the action. Did well. Found Redknapp. And the expectancy rises from the Liverpool crowd. Redknapp's got McManaman to his left. Redknapp again. Redknapp shot and comfortable for the Tottenham goalkeeper. Always feel in a cup tie that the home side would do that bit more to try and win it first time round, but it doesn't always work that way. Spurs certainly wouldn't be complaining about a replay at White Hart Lane. This is John Scales, lovely crossfield ball to Bjørnebye. McManaman's there, and here he is. Oh, he's inside Calderwood. McManaman, good save. Two players appealing for a pullback, Rush and Fowler, but from where McManaman was, the shooting chance presented itself. Bjørnebye. And now Rob Jones. Redknapp. Redknapp once more. It's going to run on to Bjørnebye. Oh, it was supposed to be a shot. It's Fowler, Thomas. And Klinsmann, a lovely turn for Tottenham to Barmby. Now, can they get players in support? Barmby's going alone. The challenge is from behind. It's a free kick. It's also going to be a booking. Rob Jones, yellow card for coming in behind Nick Barmby. It might be the best Barmby could have got out of that situation, because the other Tottenham players were a little bit behind him at the time. He was looking up for help, had to go alone, and when the challenge came in, it caught his leg before the ball was played. So free kick to Tottenham, 25 yards from goal. An angle which might tempt Darren Anderton. And that is Anderton, but it's high and handsome into the new Kop stand. Forward by Howells, but nobody in that space for Tottenham. Anderson got it back in. Oh, and here's Klinsmann for a great chance. It's Klinsmann for Tottenham, and he's got it with 2 minutes to go. Jerry Francis celebrating. Spurs have taken the lead for the first time in the tie, and Jurgen Klinsmann is the hero again. The flick on by Sheringham has got him clear, but tricky angle, a lovely finish into the corner. Watch Sheringham, number 10, he just edges the ball on. Ruddock's beaten, so is Jones. Klinsmann's in, and he curls it away from David James. And what drama here at Anfield. In the 89th minute, Tottenham Hotspur, who've never beaten Liverpool in the FA Cup, go 2-1 up with Klinsmann's 23rd goal of the season. How it's changed. Jurgen Klinsmann, who's written his name all over this Tottenham season, has scored a goal there that may well find a place in Spurs history. Unless Liverpool can do something even more unexpected in what time remains. You can never tell in the FA Cup, can you? Is Klinsmann on his way to Wembley? He's found Sheringham. There's a player gone down there in a challenge with Babb. It's Barmby, but the referee is looking the other way. He's also looking at his watch, and Spurs are through. Tottenham are in the semi-final. In a season when they weren't even in the FA Cup until December. Jerry Francis, all smiles, and Jurgen Klinsmann, as if the script could have been any better, has scored the winning goal. He missed the chance 2 minutes in, and he took one 2 minutes from the end. He's almost in tears, the German captain. What an emotional finish to this game. Ruddock sportingly congratulating Tottenham players, former colleagues among them. Defeated Liverpool players walk off absolutely shattered by what happened there. And another unpredictable chapter in the story of Jurgen Klinsmann, Jerry Francis, Tottenham Hotspur and the FA Cup. People are going to say, as they often do, this phrase, oh, their name was written on the cup, because after all, Spurs weren't even in the competition until December.
Yeah, but I've said all along, I've been asked that question through all the rounds now, and I don't believe in that at all. You've got to make your own luck, and we had to work very, very hard against a good Liverpool side today, and perhaps we got what we deserved at the end of the day. So, you know, we're still not there yet. It's the semi-final, and there's still another team to play before you get to the final.
From our own point of view, we lost 2 goals when we were in possession, which is always a bit disturbing. But having said that, the guy's different class. If you give him half a chance, and he'd missed 1 or 2 all day, and quite been looking a world-class player he is, but you give him that last chance and it's bye-bye, isn't it?
I think it was a very exciting game. It was a very open game because both sides tried to attack the whole 90 minutes, and I mean, we scored a wonderful first goal with Teddy Sheringham, and yeah, during the whole second half we had the feeling that or Liverpool or us, we can score the second goal. And actually, maybe at the end, you know, both parts were happy with the tie, with the 1-1, and were thinking already about the game at White Hart Lane. And then suddenly this chance came up, and yeah, I took it.
Quite an emotional day for you, really, playing against your old club and it finishing like that.
Yeah, as I say, they come here, they've done a job. We let ourselves down on the day. We played a lot better than that, and fair credit them, you know, their heads are down in there. But I mean, we've got the league to go for, and obviously we're in the Coca-Cola Cup, so it's not that bad.
Now, have you chaps come to an agreement about whether justice was done today or not?
We've agreed that Liverpool were robbed.
You've agreed. I've got your £2 and I'm happy.
You might get it later.
Now, you weren't entirely happy with Liverpool's performance, were you?
Well, first of all, I thought that Tottenham played really well. They came and defended well. Mabbutt was just Mabbutt, and I thought the keeper played excellently again. But Liverpool today, all season long, they've played well defensively, individually and collectively, but today they just didn't get tight enough. And when you're playing against quality players, the Klinsmann and Sheringham of this world, you've got to pick up tight. This is a chance early on. Ruddock goes for the first ball. Now, they're back in numbers here. We've got Scales and Babb, but Klinsmann runs between the two of them. They leave it for each other, and that's a great opportunity early on, and James makes a great save. They've pressurised McManaman here. When Sheringham gets it, watch the line of Liverpool defence. We've got the three of them circled. We've got Scales, Ruddock, Babb. Nobody's picking up the lone fire at Klinsmann. At the top of your picture, you've got Mark Walters. You think there's no way Tottenham can even have an attacking move here, but Klinsmann picks it up. Barnby makes a great run through, and if that was a better pass, he was clean through and goals. And again, we've circled Klinsmann here, so it's Sheringham is the front man, and he's got all the time in the world to turn, look up, run 2 or 3 yards, and play it into feet, and Tottenham will attack again. And if you're giving quality players time and space to play, then eventually they're going to cause you problems, and that's what happened.
What did you feel about the Spurs' performance overall, Gary? They got attacked on the wings early on, didn't they?
They did. That was their only threat. I thought they defended very well. They kept Liverpool away from goal. The only way they could get behind them was with perhaps Walters, who really only did it once, and it amounted in the goal. But I mean, everything Alan said about the way Liverpool played defensively was right, but you've still got to take advantage of that. And Teddy Sheringham did in particular today. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. When the ball gets knocked out, they will actually circle Teddy, and that's the sort of space he had all afternoon. But it would have been easy for him to run onto players, but he didn't. You see, he's looking around him, he has a little look, he knows he's in space. The ball gets knocked forward again, cleared. Bit of a lucky touch, but again, it would be easy for Teddy to join in the attack, but he's sitting there supporting if he's needed. On this occasion he wasn't, but he was there. Here you see him coming back. He wins the ball, worked very hard. Now he's making another run into space. His awareness all day of the space around him was superb, and his passing was as well. Through to Barnby, and only a great tackle from Babb stops a good chance there for Spurs. And here's the goal. Fabulous ball from David Howells into Klinsmann. Bad marking again from Liverpool. Big space for Klinsmann. Could have picked out Rosenthal. Chose the right person. And that is a fabulous finish from Sheringham. Bad clearance there. Yeah. This is the other goal. Lovely touch here from Teddy. That's perfectly weighted. And Jurgen, as Roy Evans said, had missed one or two, miskicked a couple, but showed what a great strike he was there. Hit the one in that mattered.
Stays so cool when he gets those opportunities like that.
Well, he's been there. You know, the guy's won a World Cup winners' medal, so he's proven world-class striker over a long period of time, and that's why he's cool in the situation there in the last minute.
But apart from bets, either side could have won that today. I mean, there were 3 super goals.
It was really tight. I thought the first half was excellent. The second half went a bit dead. Liverpool had a lot of play and a lot of possession, but they played it across Tottenham, and I always thought if one team was going to score a goal, it was Tottenham.
Thank you. Let's move on now to the day's other quarter-final, Crystal Palace against Wolves. Wolves the only club left in the competition from outside the Premiership, of course. The match at Selhurst, the pitch taking a bashing there, the 5th game in 11 days. The commentary from Tony Gubber.
After only 1 goal in 10.5 hours of football, Crystal Palace had a confidence-building session with a hypnotist yesterday, and today manager Alan Smith completely shakes up a team still without its top scorer Chris Armstrong. Chris Coleman and Gareth Southgate will be at fullback. Andy Priest and Damien Matthew, the wide players in midfield, with John Solarco up front alongside Ian Dowie. The aim is to create more crosses and hopefully more goals. Well, goals have been the stock in trade of Steve Bull at Wolves for almost 10 years, 244 of them so far, and he's back after being injured in the game in midweek in a Wolves team that will have to complete the season without its Dutch international defender John de Wolf, who underwent an operation in Holland yesterday. Brian Law will partner Peter Shirtliff in central defence, and Wolves are the only team left in this season's FA Cup from outside the Premier Division. The referee, Gary Willard of Worthing. The nightmare scenario for Crystal Palace would see them go out of both cup competitions in the space of 4 days and then fail to win a relegation fight, currently 20th in the Premier Division. Wolves, in comparison, could be going in the other direction. Third in Division 1, just 3 points behind the leaders, and looking to try and win that one promotion place outright. If not, maybe via the playoffs. Here's Smith. And Goodman peeling off. Coleman's right behind him. Blocks the cross at the expense of a corner. And Steve Bull and Kelly are both standing right on the goal line in front of Nigel Martin. Bull wins it. First strike from the Wolves number 9, who's been at Molineux since 1985. Brian Law won the header, hooked up by David Kelly. Free kick, which Crystal Palace have taken quickly. Richard Shaw into Solarco. Shirtliff's header. Priest is wide. Hit the back of James Smith. And the Crystal Palace throw. Back header by Priest, and it was a good one. There was nobody for Palace in the right spot. Oh, well done, Rankin. He's got space in front of him. Eric Young's come out of the middle. Priest. Newman. This is Pitcher. Now Eric Young. Coleman. This is Shaw. Southgate. 16 is Darren Pitcher, faced by Gordon Cowans. It's a long cross, but Solarco's underneath it, and it went out off the fullback. A Palace corner. The keeper's missed it. Off the line by Gordon Cowans after Stowell didn't hold it. Down by Solarco very intelligently to Newman. This is good pressure by Palace. Solarco, Rankin blocked him, and the ricochet finally went out of John Solarco, so it'll be a goal kick. Cowans, the saviour, on the goal line, and it may just have come off the head of Eric Young. Richard Shaw will take the free kick for Palace. And only he and goalkeeper Nigel Martin are in the Palace half. Eric Young knocks it in. Not a bad strike. Oh, Ricky Newman turned. It was a crowded penalty area in front of him, and his intention was to try and find that top corner. In the end, perhaps a couple of feet in it. Now Don Goodman, who's operating wide today. Ball goes on his outside, and he was dispossessed by Priest, who finds Solarco. Shirtliff holding Solarco back. The whistle has gone. Even if it goes in, it won't count. It's going to be a free kick, and it's going to be a booking for Shirtliff. Now, what colour card has referee Gary Willard pulled out of his pocket? There was a flash of red, but it may have been a mistake. It's a yellow. And just for one horrible moment, when the referee took the card out, he took them both out, and Peter Shirtliff turned and he saw red. But he was certainly trying to hold Solarco back. In fact, he was holding him back. In by Newman. The keeper comes, and Stowell claimed it well. It might have brought a better dividend for Palace if Solarco had been allowed to run free. Now Priest will catch it. Smith forced him to turn. Here's Coleman. Palace wanted in the air. Dowie trying to get underneath it. Oh, a little handball by Brian Law. You'd have to question whether there was any intent. The referee shakes his head, but everybody in the ground thinks they saw Brian Law throw up a hand and touch the ball. Dowie's trying to get underneath it. Well, looked like handball from that angle. Whether it was intentional or not is another matter. Pitcher. Wolves have the throw. Again, Eric Young is the player in the penalty area who wins it. Rankin knocks it back. No flag. Here's Kelly. Martin got a touch on it, and it just knocked it out of the path of Steve Bull. Otherwise, the team from Division 1 would have opened the scoring. Palace looked questioningly across at the linesman on this near side, but there was no flag against Kelly. Again, they don't beat Eric Young. Have to go down as an excellent save by Nigel Martin, alongside the ones that he produced in the replay against Watford here. Priest on the chest of Solarco, and Crystal Palace's inability to score continues for another 45 minutes of football. The only consolation for the team from the Premier Division is that the visitors from Wolves likewise haven't found the net at half-time here at Sellers Park. It's still on as even and goalless. Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 0. After their success in the fourth round replay against Sheffield Wednesday, when they won in the penalty shootout, Wolves would not, one suspect, be too dismayed to take Palace back to a replay at Molineux a week on Wednesday. Dennison had his hand across the shoulders of Damien Matthew. Free kick. Robbie Dennison, Northern Ireland international, has been at Wolves since 1987. Shaw with the free kick. Coleman knocks it down. Dowie! Yes! Palace open the scoring from Ian Dowie. Shaw's free kick from just inside halfway, knocked on by Coleman. Dowie swept it in. It's his third goal since his arrival at Palace from Southampton, and it's put Premier Division 1 up against First Division in this FA Cup quarter-final. They were 2-0 down against Mansfield in the third round, but that was only after 10 minutes. They had plenty of time to come back. Looking for Priest. Appeals for handball. Again, referee just runs away from all the protests. Southgate put it out. Kelly in a hurry to take it. Cowans. Damien Matthew brushed over, play allowed to continue. Well, the goal stands, Cowans has scored. Gary Willard kept faith with his policy. In the first 3 quarters of the match, he allowed players to tussle. He didn't see an offence. Damien Matthew, who went down, Cowans picked his spot wide of Nigel Martin. It's 1-1, but it's not a goal without a talking point. This is Shaw. Brian Law. Cowans just hit it into the middle where Coleman was waiting. Good ball out to Preece. Keeper put a hand on it and it'll be a corner. He wasn't sure quite where he was. He'd watched the ball in flight all the way and maybe would have benefited from a shout from one of his defenders. Solarco. It's crowded. Whistle stayed silent. Oh, the keeper's on the floor. Dowie. Well, Wolves might have felt there'd been a foul on the keeper, but there was no whistle. And when the ball was knocked back in, Mike Stowell was way off his line, and Dowie's header just clearing the bar. It's a real crowd that the keeper's trying to come through. He didn't successfully get a fist on it and went down, and he suddenly realises the play is continuing. Just clearing the bar, may have touched the top of it. Cowans. Here's Rankin. Oh, he handled it. He lost the ball then, Mark Rankin, and he handled it on the floor, and that may be a caution. Peter Shirtliff already shown the yellow card for Wolves, and he lost out here and pulled it back with his left hand, and is cautioned. Looking for the header on by Preece, out by Thompson. Oh, great save by Stowell from Coleman. Palace within inches of securing the victory in the last 2 minutes of the match. In comes the corner. 2 Wolves players jumping for the same ball. Officially 1 minute of the 90 left. And it was a very late goal, remember, that enabled Palace to beat Watford in the 5th round replay. The last couple of minutes of extra time when Undar headed the goal over the head of Dyer. Coleman still forward, Eric Young still in there, and there's a flag on the near side. And Wolves have survived. Well, Nick Stowell preferred in goal by Wolves at the moment ahead of Paul Jones, who was certainly the cup hero earlier this season, especially in the first match in the replay against Sheffield Wednesday, saving then point blank from Chris Coleman. Gordon Cowans equalising goal, looking increasingly as if it's earned Wolves a replay at Molineux, and another great night of cup football. Solarco battling for room to get in the cross, and he does. Dyer was in there, so too was Brian Law. Corner. We're well into stoppage time, and Wolves have got to hang on just a bit longer. Eric Young, wonderful save. Somehow Stowell got airborne and just clawed it away with the right hand. He won it well, there was pace on it. Andy Thompson will lift it as far as he can into the penalty area. Kelly looks for the back flick. Here's Rankin. The whistle's gone. It's 1-1. Graham Taylor's Wolves continue to live dangerously in the FA Cup. But you can't argue that the team from Division 1 deserved their draw and deserved their replay. And Palace will have to try and do what Sheffield Wednesday couldn't do at Molineux, and that's win in the replay. Final score here is Palace 1, Wolves 1.
2-0 down against Mansfield, you came back to win. A last-minute penalty save against Sheffield Wednesday, and then 3-0 down in the penalty shootout in the replay against Sheffield Wednesday, and you won that as well. You keep coming back from the jaws of death.
Well, Mickey Stowell saved us, didn't he, in the last minute as well, with a great save from, I think it was Eric Young's header. But that's of credit to them, you know, they're hanging on. We're learning about that. I mean, it's my first year at the club, and I think just generally now we're learning about having to dig results out and hang on in there and believe in ourselves, and this will do them no harm whatsoever.
What's your interpretation of the goal? Because one or two Palace supporters might have felt that you actually pushed Damien Matthew over.
Well, to be honest with him, I might have nudged him in the back. I mean, I was closing him down from behind, trying to get a toe on the ball, trying to poke it through to somebody. In the end, when he went over, I wasn't sure the ref was going to blow a what. Ended up the first shot for a long time.
Were you surprised that the referee didn't blow for a foul?
A little bit, yeah. But at the end of the day, you play till the whistle goes, don't you?
For the replay, hopefully, you'll have Chris Armstrong back.
Well, I'm hoping he's going to be back next week. I don't want to wait another fortnight. It's been bad enough sort of having this unknown period out, so the sooner he can get back. I really need him back for the league games. The Cup's a bonus for us. It's a nice bonus, but at the end of the day, we want to stay in the Premier League, and I need Armstrong back for this week.
Let's look back at one or two aspects of that game. First, a couple of penalties that might have been, should have been, were.
Should have been, were, yeah, but not given. The first one, Coleman plays it into the box. Now, Brian Law goes up here, he jumps too early, hand comes out, it's a bit of a panic attack, and for me, he's definitely handled that. He's very lucky to get away with it. And this one, Steve Bull gets to the ball first. It's Richard Shaw comes in, no contact at all with the ball. And for me, again, a definite penalty kick.
Now, Cowans was pretty honest about his goal there. We'll look at that in a moment, but take a look at the other goal first for us.
Yeah, it was a long ball forward, and I've actually circled the players at the far end there. Ian Dowie and Shirtliff who's marking. Now, Dowie goes one way, and you'll see Shirtliff go the other. So Dowie's created the space for himself, but Shirtliff's really ball watch, got involved with a lot of players that he didn't really need to get involved with, and Dowie's got his space. And the number 5 that was also circled doesn't know what to do. That's Brian Law, and it's too late. It's in the back of the net. Now here, I mean, Gordon, I think, knows what he's done. He's got his arms all over him there. He's tripped him over. But it's a great finish. Beautifully bent around Nigel Martin. And we'll see it from this angle. You can see he's got his arms on his arms there. And the referee's probably, the problem is the ref's too far away from the incident, I think. But Gordon's happy. So, and it's back to Molineux.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, was there?
Well, the referee didn't blow. He takes the shot and scores.
GBH, I think was there.
Thank you very much.
You're always having a go at referees,
always did.
Are you there? Sorry, I was just going to tell everybody about our live match tomorrow, which of course is Everton against Newcastle. We've got the semi-final draw as well, and we'll also have the goals from the Manchester United QPR tie, and a special programme for you on Monday night. Herbie Hyde defending his WBO heavyweight championship for the first time against the former undisputed champion Riddick Bowe. We've got that for you 10:10 on Monday night. We haven't finished here, though, because it's now the Premiership. Blackburn's lead at start of play, 3 points. 3 more away to Coventry this afternoon. Would do very nicely in the chase for the title. Our man at this game, Gerald Sinstad.
Burrow's shot is on target. Oh, Shearer pulling away and got the header in despite 2 defenders close to him, Burrows and Rennie. Over Henry's head, and real danger here. Pearce held it up, Dublin came in behind. Over Henry's head, Dublin, look, is now nearly 10 yards behind the play. But then when Pearce struggles, Dublin comes in and agonisingly just inside the post. Corner to be taken by Ripley.
Henry had come to the near post as a decoy. Oh, Shearer's shot, and I think it came off the goalkeeper. Shearer really got a big whack to that. Fell nicely at his feet, and it was one of the defenders on the line who got it away. Oh, messing about on the edge of their area again. And Flowers has got it. And Atkins going in onto the line as the corner is swung out wide. And the header, I think, from Pearce. And on the break, Peter Unlove for Coventry. In the middle, Marsh and Dublin. Shot from Unlove, and it was 5 yards wide. Ripley. Plenty in there. Henry with the glancing header. And a great drive. Virtually the first touch. In fact, it was the first touch for Slater. Knocked down now. Ripley! Beautifully cushioned by Shearer's head. Top surface notably more slippery now, but here's Slater away. Ripley inside him. Slater going for another shot. Saved and knocked out for a corner. Sherwood. Lasser. The pattern repeats and repeats. Gould comes. The referee has given the goal. Shearer really did wonder if there wasn't a hand that went up there too. Difficult to say. Shearer jumping. Goalkeeper there. Goalkeeper's fist didn't make contact, and Burrows could only follow it into the net. 2.5 minutes left, and they'll come looking for 3. Shearer again. He was not far wide. It was turned aside. It's a corner. Shearer. Really good strike.
I thought first half's the best we played since I've been at the club. Second half we took a battering. We expected to take a battering, and yet when they missed 1 or 2 of those chances, I thought maybe it's our day. But with no complaints. Everybody on our side was totally committed, and at the end of the day, we've got a point more than we started with.
Are you, in any sense, disappointed that you didn't get the 6-point advantage?
We're just happy to be in this position. If we keep playing like that, saying 45 minutes, and if you get a little bounce of the ball here and there, we're not going to be too far away.
Quite right, Kenny. Now, 4 other games to catch up on now, beginning with Leicester against Nottingham Forest.
Nobody's needs are greater than bottom club Leicester City's. What they didn't need after 7 minutes of today's derby match was this. The near post defender, Neil Lewis, makes 2 goal line clearances, the second with his hand. Penalty to Forest, red card to Lewis. The odds quickly stacked against Leicester, with Stuart Pearce blasting home the spot kick. But Mark McGee, still to see his team win a league game at Filbert Street, had no complaints with his 10-man team. They were on terms soon after, McGee signing Jamie Lawrence, finding the head of David Lowe. A thumping finish for 1-1. Goalkeepers were very much on the receiving end there today. The key period in the game came midway through the second half. Forest ferrying the ball around patiently for Ian Wone to pick out Stan Collymore. Every week there's a new rumour about Stan. Most weeks he has an answer. 4 minutes later, he was involved in a Forest ambush. Breaking clear from a Leicester corner, they had a 3-1 advantage, and Ian Wone made it pay. Leicester have conceded 16 goals in their last 5 games. Scoring goals isn't anything like as much of a problem for them. They're playing some attractive stuff. Mark Draper won special praise again today. It was he who bounced one past Mark Crossley to make it 3-2 with 20 minutes to go. But that was as close as Leicester got. And in the final minute, Lars Bohinen teed up substitute Jason Lee to wrap up the victory. Leicester still bottom with 12 points between them and the safety mark. West Ham end a dramatic day just above that cut-off mark for the first time since the turn of the year. Norwich City, seeking their first league win of the year, took the lead midway through the first half. Darren Eadie beating Ludo McCloskey on his near post. Norwich have been finding goals difficult to come by of late. That was the last goal that referee Alan Wilkie presided over. He limped off with hamstring trouble. Senior linesman Martin Sims took over. What happened next? This. Just 3 minutes later, Norwich number 14, Spencer Pryor, had already been yellow carded. So when he cut across Tony Cottee and saw the new ref reaching for his pocket, well, he set off in the direction of the dressing room. But hold on there. One close-cropped haircut looks very much like another, and the new man had decided that number 19, Andy Johnson, was the guilty party. Pryor stayed on. FA observer, ex-ref Ray Lewis later confirmed it was a case of mistaken identity. But no doubting the identity of the number 14, who then laid on the second Norwich goal early in the second half. Spencer Pryor teeing up Robert Ullathorne. The 10 men, the wrong 10 men as it happened, 2-0 up. And that was the way it stayed till the last 10 minutes. Enter Tony Cottee, latching on to Don Hutchison's pass to halve the deficit. And then with just 2 minutes remaining, rescuing a point with his nose for where the clearest chance will fall in a chaotic penalty area. Definitely onside despite the appeals. West Ham definitely in the danger zone still.
We need to win 5 now and at the last 10. But, you know, who knows? Who knows where and when the wins might come. It's getting harder, obviously, as you run out of games, but we've still got 5 games at home to come, so there's every opportunity.
A diabolical day for Chelsea going into their European return with Bruges next week. Flickering pictures from Stamford Bridge, but Leeds taking a clear lead with 2 thumping goals in 4 minutes midway through the first half. Tony Yeboah is proving just the specialist goalscorer Leeds have been looking for. Chelsea's injury list is lengthening. Both Eddie Newton and Andy Myers joined it today. Brian Deane and Gary McAllister were given new roles by Howard Wilkinson. Both enjoyed themselves, McAllister making it 2-0. Mark Stein wasted Chelsea's best chance early in the second half. 2 minutes later, McAllister scattered the pigeons, and Yeboah had only to turn up to grab his 4th goal in as many starts for Leeds. When they're good, they're very good. Sadly, the morning headlines may belong to John Pemberton and Mark Stein, who got hot under the collar right under the referee's nose. Peter Jones had a front row view of raised hands from both players, but when the dust settled, all he raised were yellow cards. Restless natives at Hillsborough after Sheffield Wednesday's 3rd successive home defeat. Trevor Francis admitted the crowd's anxiety is getting to his players. Wimbledon, in a rocky little run themselves, won the game with a second-half Alan Reeves goal. Wednesday and Wimbledon, 8th and 9th. Everyone below them is still in the relegation picture.
Now, the Norwich sending off was quite interesting, wasn't it?
Bizarre.
Bizarre.
To say the least.
We've circled the guy who gets sent off, Johnson. He's nowhere near the incident.
He actually does he walks away here. I think he's actually hiding. He's doing a runner.
Pryor's going to go off. He's on his way off. What is Johnson doing with the referee in the first place? That's what I want to know.
Why did he walk to the referee?
Yeah. Maybe he was complaining about Pryor being
the other
sent
guy
off,
saying it.
and then he gets sent off himself. I think it's Martin Sims straight to the optician Monday morning.
At least he got the right colour shirt.
Well, that was a beginning. That was a beginning. Let's give you the league table position tonight then. At the top, Blackburn's draw at Coventry puts them 4 points ahead of United, who now have 1 game in hand. And at the bottom, Leicester's defeat by Nottingham Forest keeps them bottom and seemingly destined for the drop. Ipswich didn't play today. West Ham's draw against Norwich moves them up 1 place. Well, this goal from Alan Shearer extended his lead at the top of the hot shots to 7 goals. These are the current top scorers, Premiership goals only. Well, there we are. That's part 1 of Match of the Day. Part 2 begins tomorrow afternoon at 2:50, as once again we follow the road to Wembley with Everton against Newcastle live. Spurs and Jurgen Klinsmann are only 1 win away. Good night.
Anderson got it back in. Oh, and here's Klinsmann for a great chance. It's Klinsmann for Tottenham, and he's got it with 2 minutes to go.
And a reminder that, of course, you can see Everton v Newcastle this afternoon at 2:50 here on BBC One. Viewers in Scotland can see Hearts against Dundee United in the Scottish Cup.
Well, it looks like we're not getting any audio out of London at the moment, so we'll just talk over the pictures for a while. And you saw the scene being set there, guys. Bob Catlin, you've been to Wembley. You weren't fortunate enough to play on that day, but maybe you can transmit to us some of the sense of occasion that you felt that day.
Yeah, we were there for the Anglo-Italian Cup final, and even though it's a minor competition in England, it was just a magical day. Wembley's got a magic about it. All the players in England aspire to one day play at Wembley, and it's just a great day out. And it's even more so at the FA Cup final, where it's the mecca of football in the British game. And it's a great day out for the fans. They get there early, they watch the teams arrive in the bus, and they fill the stadium and have a fantastic day. And it's just a truly fantastic atmosphere.
Well, this is what we're watching here is obviously how the teams got to the final, and we're watching Manchester United's, one of Manchester United's early matches, and they beat some tough teams on the way, both of the sides, particularly Everton, Tottenham in the semi, Newcastle in the quarter-finals, of course, and Manchester United a 5-2 win over Wrexham was among their victories. It's a tough thing. There are some critics, Tom, of the FA Cup in saying that often it's the luck of the draw, isn't it? Because you can draw a weak team, a series of weak teams at home, and make it all the way to the final.
Yeah, but you can also draw some weak teams away from home and come in stuck. Remember, there used to be a team called Yeovil in the Southern League, and they had a hill, and everybody, when they went to Yeovil, they used to shake in their shoes. It's, I reckon it's, we'll have the European Cup and everything, but the FA Cup for me is probably the greatest club competition and domestic club competition in the world. It's just magic, and to go to Wembley and win that trophy is it's part of tradition in England now, and it's becoming part of tradition in Australia now, the FA Cup.
Well, the Cup is becoming part of tradition everywhere. It wasn't a tradition so much in Europe, Ron, really until the Cup Winners' Cup was introduced. So continental nations had to introduce a cup competition in order to qualify for the Cup Winners' Cup. But now, even there, they're building up quite a tradition. The cup finals in France and Italy and so on are quite big events.
Yeah, I agree, but I agree also with Tommy. This is the biggest day around the world, and I think any soccer player anywhere in the world is glued to the TV sets today. I mean, every player strives for this day to get there, whether you play for Yeovil Town, as Tommy mentioned, or whether you play for Arsenal. And I was lucky enough to sit on the bench in the '71 in the double year when I was reserve goalkeeper to Bobby Wilson. Les, and just to feel it's something that stays with you for the rest of your life. It's an incredible feeling, and you'll never replace it. And I don't care what they try and do, you'll never replace the feeling of getting there today and Wembley, and everything's forgotten. And I was reading this morning, it's been a bad year for soccer in England. They've had George Graham sacked, and they've had players being head-butted and taxis, jumping out of taxis. They've had players kicked into the stands, and they're cancelling the thing. But all that'll be forgotten today, Les, because today is just the pinnacle. It's what every player in the world strives for, and even the continental players have nothing to replace it over in Europe. They'll come and play for an English club, and I think Klinsmann would have loved to have got there as his final game for Tottenham. I think he would have given anything to have been part of this day today. Don't you agree, Tommy?
I do, yeah, and it has been, probably there've been a lot of incidents, a lot of happenings in English football this season, but the crowds are up 5%.
Yeah,
they've had 11 million for the first time in 14 years, Les. So the game's not in a bad state at all. Mind you, the all-seater stadiums, I think, has got a lot to do with that, because people are going to the games now when they sit down in comfort, and it's cut out a lot of violence as well.
Well, Wembley, of course, underwent quite a huge change some years ago when it became when they actually reduced the capacity. Bob, but the magic is still the same. It's a fabulous place to visit.
Yeah, I mean, the magic's the same if there's only 17,000 people in there. It's just the atmosphere of the stadium itself. I mean, it doesn't matter to players whether there are 17,000 or 100,000.
When there's only 17,000, then Bobby, they introduce the players to the crowd then, don't
That's right, that's right, Tommy. But it's just the magic of playing on that stadium with so much history and tradition. That's what everybody strives for.
I see there's a move ahead, or they were talking about it in England at the moment, not to make Wembley the national stadium, to build another stadium outside Manchester or Leeds or somewhere like that. That for me, that would be a great tragedy, because Wembley is the home of English football, isn't it, really?
Well, it is, although now they're experimenting with other things. We've got this tournament coming up between England, Brazil, Sweden and Japan, and I think one or two of England's games, or one of England's games is going to be away from Wembley, and that's something new. Just, by the way, some news to hand. Just this evening, one man who won't be necessarily enjoying himself tonight when he's watching the FA Cup final is Trevor Francis, who's just been given the big flick by Sheffield Wednesday tonight. So
I was a little bit concerned because I was lucky enough to play in the England youth team when we won what was called the Little World Cup in '71 in Czechoslovakia. Trevor was my roommate, and I followed his career from way back then, and I'm very sad to hear that, because he's done a fairly good job actually, and they stayed up and they won their last game, and he still has a year to go on his contract. And Bobby and I were just talking about contracts just now, but that's a real pity, Les. That's a real pity, because.
Are you looking for a contract, Ron?
Ron, there's only two things certain in a manager's life. One of them is you're going to die sometime along the line, and the second is you're going to get the sack.
Yeah, I agree. But getting back to that goalkeeper thing earlier on, Les, I don't know what Bobby feels, but you look at the two keepers tonight, and I think it will be a battle of clean sheets. But I think that, like the big day, if anyone's going to throw one in, it could be Schmeichel, because he can make a couple of mistakes. You know, he's quite liable to go out and sort of find himself halfway down the park, or drop a bad cross or something. I think the boy that's been there is Southall. He's been there. He's got a lot of experience. He's been around a long time. You can't buy experience, and this is a nerve-wracking day, isn't it, Bobby? Today, it's.
Yeah, but Schmeichel also won the European Nations Cup with Denmark. He's got a lot of experience as well.
Yeah, there's 10 years difference in age though, Tommy, and the keeper's like, you know, he's
20 clean sheets.
Yeah.
He's only let in, what, 22 goals or something in 32 games? Yeah. Not a bad keeper, this boy, I'll tell you.
I tell one very curious thing, guys. Bob, I wonder if you want to comment on that, about these two goalkeepers, Schmeichel and Southall, is that they are both being coached by the same goalkeeping coach. I've forgotten the guy's name.
Alan Hodgkinson.
Alan Hodgkinson, that's the guy. And that's weird, isn't it? I mean, he goes from one camp to the other to coach the goalkeepers.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there's a couple of them that do it. Peter Benetti, who I worked with at Chelsea when I was there, he also does the same thing. They're freelance, and they spend the morning with one club and an afternoon with another, and do it pretty much around the country. And because most clubs in England don't have full-time goalkeeping coaches.
I'll tell you what, talking about goalkeepers, Manchester United will be very happy and very pleased they're not facing that West Ham goalkeeper again, because that fellow on Monday night was absolutely magnificent, wasn't he?
He was indeed. He was indeed, Nick Loshko.
Yeah.
OK, gentlemen, thanks for that. Our problems in England have been sorted out. Let's go to the True Blue narration as we watch the early rounds of the 1994-95 FA Cup.
For the semi-final, Wembley had been scrapped as the venue for both semis, but the swap didn't diminish the atmosphere or importance of the occasion. It was the classic cup confrontation. A struggling club with disastrous league form trying to beat the odds against the glamorous stars and holders of the cup.
Dowie right under the crossbar. Schmeichel finger-tipping the ball away to Armstrong, who returns it into the danger zone immediately. Salako, a goal! Ian Dowie, right on the line. Giggs on the left foot, Irwin on the right foot. Our potential goal scorers. It is Irwin, it's a great goal again! How does he do it? Well, the fans have certainly had full value for money. And Armstrong here, he's into the penalty area. Chris Armstrong, it bobbles past Michael. Palace restore the lead. Oh, Alan Smith thinks he's on his way to Wembley now, maybe. It's a good long throw. Pallister, 2-2. What a time for Gary Pallister to get in there and score for United.
2-2 after extra time, and before the replay, the crowd observed a dignified silence in memory of Paul Nixon, a Crystal Palace fan who'd been killed outside a pub before the first game. It was a strangely subdued occasion, with Palace fans staging a boycott and United staging a victory.
This is United's corner kick, and Bruce is coming for it. Steve Bruce marks his return in the semi-final replay with a goal. Bruce and Pallister are both in there, and Pallister, it's two. The two centre-backs have both scored now. Anything Bruce can do, Pallister can do too. Armstrong, a deft touch from him to find Southgate. Well, the free kick awarded against Keane, and stupidly Keane goes in on Southgate, and there is mayhem down on the touchline. Blows being exchanged there. Roy Keane definitely in trouble. Mr. Ellery produces the red card, and Roy Keane is sent off. Darren Patterson has gone as well.
So a check on United's progress to the final. Home advantage proving decisive on 3 occasions, with United not unduly troubled really until that semi-final, when Palace were only beaten at the second attempt.
Live pictures from Wembley Stadium, 45 minutes to kick off in the 1995 FA Cup final, and down on the pitch, community action at work. This was earlier as Everton's players arrived. Duncan Ferguson, who only, 3 weeks ago was in hospital having a double hernia operation, but looking ready to play his part for Everton today. And with me, looking ahead, Dave Besant, who won his Cup Winners' Medal with Wimbledon in a famous final back in 1988. How big an influence can this man be on the game, Dave?
Yeah, he's going to be vital to them, especially that Everton tend to look at a lot of set plays to score their goals, and he's going to be very, very important for them.
Manchester United have their own talisman, a front man who's done it all in the game, Mark Hughes, and having a brilliant second half of the season.
Yeah, Mark, again, he's a vital factor in the team play for Man United. He's different to Ferguson in that he's not that great in the air. He holds the ball up and links other players into him.
The youngster who's made such a fantastic impact this season, one of the Neville footballing brothers here, Gary alongside Lee Sharp, and Dennis Irwin, who's Manchester United's top scorer on the way to Wembley, the full-back who's been scoring vital penalties in the Premiership race and leading by example from the back. But he's a player who loves to range forward, and one wonders whether that might create holes for Anders Limpar today, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, both the full-backs, if Sharp's going to play on the left side, they like to push forward, and I mean, it's going to be a game of cat and mouse. It's going to be who's going to take the chances and who's going to be able to find the holes in them.
One man who's got to sit it out and watch is the cup-tied Andy Cole. £7 million of talent. He started to score the goals to push Manchester United close to the Premiership title, but not quite enough. And friends in opposition today, Joe Royle of Everton, Alex Ferguson of Manchester United. Ferguson, the manager who's done it all in English and Scottish football. Royle did a wonderful job at Oldham, but now he has a big stage, and in managerial terms, this would be his biggest achievement if he were to lift the FA Cup today. So Wembley looks a picture, and the pitch, as usual, in perfect condition. The stadium beginning to fill And I just wonder, Dave, at what point can the players actually get themselves together and start to just think about this as a football match?
Well, I mean, the pre-match walkabout is one of those where they try and savour the occasion and look for members of their family. But it's as they're leaving the pitch and they know they're going to the dressing room and they're about to start what they're there for, to do their job and to try and win a trophy.
More from Dave Besant. Thanks for now to Dave Besant. When we come back, how Everton reached this FA Cup final, a season which started with desperate relegation worries but ending on a very happy note, and who knows how high they could end today. That comes in just a moment or two, and we'll also meet our match referee today. Back at Wembley, some of the Everton players are out bidding farewell to the veterans of yesteryear, great players of Everton's past who've been helping us with the pre-match build-up here today. But it is work time for the current Everton players. David Unsworth in the middle of your picture. And this is how Everton reached the big day in the FA Cup final.
Everton's Wembley adventure began at home to First Division Derby County. The Merseysiders, struggling against relegation and led by Joe Royle, were expected to struggle. The only goal of an unspectacular game came from Andy Hinchcliffe. The tie of the third round was undoubtedly Newcastle's encounter with Blackburn Rovers. It was a game which would have graced the final itself. Blackburn thought they'd done the hard part, holding Newcastle 1-1 at St James's Park. The replay at Ewood Park had a sting in the tail.
Oh, it's gone in! It's a superb effort by Hottinger! Warhurst going forward again. Helped out to Wilcox once more. That's a good-looking ball into the middle. It's the equaliser, and Sutton has got Blackburn off the hook. Here's Fox for Newcastle. Lee and Clark suddenly. Oh, it's a superb goal, and that surely will be the winner.
For the third year running, Liverpool were having problems in round 3. Second division frontrunners Birmingham City took them to a penalty shootout before Liverpool's greater experience told. Birmingham missed all their penalties. Liverpool scored 2, enough to take them through. Tottenham Hotspur were originally banned from participating in this season's FA Cup following an investigation into financial irregularities at the club. When the third round draw was made, they weren't even in the hat, but legal action forced a reversal and they were back in. Altrincham, the famous giant killers, never looked like adding to their victims. Spurs took control with the first goal from Sheringham. They added a second before Stuart Nethercott sealed it. Spurs through, and already many were predicting that their name was on the cup. Round 4 and Everton under the cosh again, this time at another First Division outfit, Bristol City. Everton still had league troubles and were definitely second best at Ashton Gate, but that great goal from Matt Jackson put Everton into round 5. On paper, Spurs looked to have a tricky trip to the 1992 finalist Sunderland. The tide turned in Spurs' favour when Sunderland defender Gary Bennett handled on the line and was sent off. Jurgen Klinsmann dispatched the penalty to put Spurs in front. 10-man Sunderland had no real answer to Spurs' forward power. Klinsmann, his heart set on appearing in a Wembley final, scored a second as Spurs ran out 4-1 winners. Southampton and Luton enjoyed a thrilling 1-1 draw in their first meeting, but the replay at the Dell was a totally different story. Last season's FA Cup semi-finalists were hit for 6 by a Southampton side brilliantly led by the prompting of Matthew Le Tissier. These are his 2 goals from that evening. The second of them, yet another spot kick. He's only ever missed once. Liverpool made more hard work in round 4 of dispatching lower division opposition. John Barnes' headed goal was the significant moment of the replay with Burnley. The last 16 and Everton faced Premier League opposition for the first time. No problems though at Goodison Park this time. Everton bang on form as they hit 5 past Norwich. Swede Anders Limpar opened the scoring in the first half with a powerful drive. Norwich had captain John Newsom sent off before Duncan Ferguson scored perhaps Everton's best goal of the game. Everton into the quarter-finals, 5-0 winners. The next opponents would be the winners of the All-Premier League tie between Newcastle United and Manchester City. City, the only club till then who'd beaten Newcastle at home all season.
They appreciated the tenacity of Gillespie's run there. Oh, the keeper's made a terrible error! And Newcastle United take the lead, and Keith Gillespie gets his first goal as a Geordie. Now an opportunity for Kernahan, Quinn and Brightwell to make their presence felt. Cernicek's dropped it and it's a goal. Beresford. Lovely football. Beresford again. On the far post is Kitson, it's gone in anyway. John Beresford. Now danger here, Beardsley in possession. Unlucky, and it still could be, and it is. Gillespie gets his second, Newcastle get their third, and Manchester City get punished again.
The most incredible performance of this season's competition came from Tottenham Hotspur against Southampton at the Dell. They'd drawn 1-1 at White Hart Lane, and Southampton led 2-0 in the replay. Enter Tottenham's Ronnie Rosenthal.
It's a good one too. Sheringham, good touch from Teddy Sheringham. Oh, yes, they're back in it. Ronnie Rosenthal. Ronnie Rosenthal, unlikely hero perhaps. He's going to have a shot. I do not believe it! Rosenthal. Interesting one. I just do not believe that Ronnie Rosenthal has made it 3.
An amazing hat-trick from Rosenthal, but Spurs weren't finished yet. It ended Southampton 2, Tottenham 6. Liverpool have never forgotten how Wimbledon shocked them in the 1988 FA Cup final. There was to be no repeat in this year's competition. John Barnes put Liverpool ahead in the replay at Selhurst Park. And then Ian Rush scored to equal the record of 41 FA Cup goals held by the great Dennis Law. Liverpool through comfortably to the quarter-finals and looking dangerous. The last 8 now, and Everton have home advantage as Kevin Keegan brought his Newcastle United team to Merseyside. Newcastle's Premier League hopes have been floundering, and this was their only hope of honours this season.
And Dave Watson gives Everton the lead. They're jumping for joy.
Everton through against the odds. Liverpool would have made it an all-Merseyside semi-final had they beaten Tottenham at Anfield.
Walters goes inside Barmby. Still Walters. That's great play from him. Fowler! Well, Robbie Fowler scores, but Mark Walters is the man they go to. He made it all possible. Now Klinsmann through the centre. Rosenthal's there, but Sheringham comes onto it. Teddy Sheringham with a sumptuous strike. Oh, a touch from Sheringham. Klinsmann! Jurgen Klinsmann for Tottenham.
Jubilant scenes at the end. Klinsmann's desire for that Wembley final driving Spurs on. So it was Everton against Tottenham at Ellen Road, Leeds. Spurs clear favourites, but it was to be a very sobering day for them.
Hinchcliffe again whips it into the near post, and it's a goal! Everton have got it! It was inevitable that a corner would produce the breakthrough. There's a poor goal kick by Walker, and it's gone straight to right out. He could score. So could Stewart. He has. It's 2-0. He's onside, and Everton could be on their way to Wembley. Straight onto the counter-attack with Limpar. And now Horn. Stewart wants it, and looks for Amakachi. The substitute puts Everton into heaven again. And Ablett, of all people, steaming on. And he's found Amakachi, who's found the net. And Everton have found the passport to Wembley and an FA Cup final.
So here's a rundown of how Everton reached today's final. They stumbled through the early rounds, but the influence of Joe Royle really stirred them to Wembley and Premier League safety. Everton impressive against Norwich and Newcastle, and of course in that memorable semi-final success over Spurs.